Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral. I'm a fourth generation witch and I've been practicing witchcraft since birth, but I really started my craft in my young 20s. I didn't really know how to start. Although I have witches in the family, it was very much an under the covers type of witchcraft because there was a lot of religious people in our family too. And so this was taught to me by my mother and my grandmother, subtly and quietly. So I didn't know much about spellcraft. I didn't know much about spirit work. I knew a bit, but not really anything. And I wish I had known more so that I could have moved forward in my craft without an overwhelming sense of insecurity. So this is my what I wish I'd known before I started practice. No one had told me before I became a witch, and this is over 30 years ago now, what witchcraft actually is. And it's very simple. It's not the practicing of spells or the worshipping of deities or the understanding of the natural world. Witchcraft is simply the moving about of energy, because that is what magic is. It's just energy. Energy creates life, creates the force, and creates the power with which we can change our path. And that is so simple. You can see how to use energy very easily. And my top tip for this is simply to clap your hands together, rub them, and you'll feel them getting hot. Then try and push that energy into a ball between your hands. I can feel it. Disperse it quickly. So now I'm pretty clear. Witchcraft is merely the moving, the changing, and the directing of energy. Simple, really. And the other thing I found very difficult when I first started out in my practice was being overwhelmed with the information out there. I thought that I had to know everything, or at least a good chunk of the knowledge, before I started working my own spells. So I always used other people's spells before this time because I did not have the confidence. Spell work should come from the person making the spell. It really is that easy. And if you feel like making a little love spell and you want to use, say, some lavender and some rose, which are two great love spell ingredients, may I say, then those are possibly the best way for you to make a love spell. However, if you want to make a love spell from using some bay leaves and some pepper, then that also is the perfect love spell ingredient for you. And that is something I didn't realise. I didn't realise my spell work comes from me, and it is me who makes those spells. Mistakes, of course, will happen. You can't fail to make a mistake when you're starting out in something. However, within witchcraft, they tend not to be that catastrophic unless you are dabbling in the more occult side of witchcraft. This being deities. Watch out, they're not necessarily what you might think they are. Spirits, watch out, they might not necessarily be the spirits that you think they are. Lots of people are given messages by the world of spirits saying, oh, it's your Uncle Ben. And then it's not Uncle Ben, something much more devious and unsalubrious, and that they can cause real damage. So with mistakes, I would say with making potions, making spells, and making manifestations, you can't really harm yourself in a particularly catastrophic manner. However, if you move into the more occult side of witchcraft, yes, you can. So when I first started out, I jumped straight into dealing with spirits and other entities, angels, fairies, you name it, without any knowledge of how to protect myself. And I got attacked. I got attacked so much because I thought I was invulnerable. I was very young at the time. And when you're very young, you do think you're invincible, but you're not. And I was attacked and attacked and attacked. And it's now that I know when I'm being attacked, I can feel it, I can tell the difference. And I wish I'd had somebody able to tell me to not jump in to that sort of occult side of witchcraft without preparing yourself first. The other thing I wish I'd known was that books don't often have the answers. You can read as many books as there are on this planet about witchcraft, and you will not receive the answer that is right for you. Witchcraft is very personal to each individual person, and so therefore if I write a book about witchcraft, it will be my witchcraft. You can certainly take lessons from it, and you can certainly take pointers, but it's not yours. Witchcraft is so personal to each individual, and this is something that can't be put into a book unless it's your book. Hence why I'm always going on about write your own book of shadows, keep your own grimoire there, because you're going to need it. To learn witchcraft, you don't need to read all the books in the world. You can learn from individual people. I might learn from a baby witch as much as I might learn from a very advanced and experienced witch. It just depends on what knowledge I need from them and I get from them. So book learning is great to give you pointers. And I read a lot of books. I love books. I love books on witchcraft. I do spend a lot of time going through and going, well, I think that's rubbish. Well, that's rubbish. I wouldn't do it like that. That's rubbish. But that's because they're not me. And yes, it is rubbish for me. So don't take everybody's word as gospel, because there isn't one, including mine. I can only ever just give you pointers. What I wish I knew before starting witchcraft, and my favourite sort of tip for this, is magic takes time. So it's a bit like you're cooking a cake and you put all the ingredients together, and if you're a witch, you go, right, the spell's done, it's all the ingredients are here, but you've got to put it in the oven to cook, and it's the cooking that takes time. Much more time than just putting the ingredients and putting your intention into it together. I often have clients who don't like it. In fact, most clients, if not all of them, in fact, when I say to them, you're not going to like the timescales on this, it's going to be X amount of months, because magic takes months to build. Manifesting something like this is very tricky. A lot of my clients are always complaining about how their spells don't work. And I'm like, well, they probably are working, but they need time to cook. And this time can be long. You can't expect magic just to change like that. It is a butterfly effect, the chaos theory. Butterfly flaps over here and, a tidal wave happens over here as a result. That is magic. It needs time to build. And in other ways, I wish I'd known that it takes a year and a day to become a witch. When my year and a day was up, when I first decided many years ago, I was talking with a guide, one of my spirit guides, and they said to me, Ginny, the choice is now yours. If you carry on, you will set your path, but you can stop and choose to go back to what you were doing previously. But beware, you can't unsee something that you have seen before. And that is true. And some of it is very distressing. It's not been, the happiest. But that is life too. You can't walk through life expecting never to have trauma and never be hurt. The same is true with witchcraft. It is just a journey, a pathway. It is a difficult path to follow, and a very incredibly rewarding one. In some ways, I would say that witchcraft saved my life. It gave me the ability to look forward to the rest of my life with hope. I love it. I find being a witch so comforting. It's so charming a practice. So that is my personal viewpoint about what I wish I'd known. However, I wouldn't change my path now for the world. It is something that's given me huge pleasure. I mean, there's been trauma and distress along the way, but so's life. And in general, I would say I wouldn't swap a single moment. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do let me know in the comments what you think. I really am interested to learn. I love hearing your stories about your growth and your way forward, because this helps me with my growth. So do please leave me a comment if you've got something to say. And in the meantime, follow me on Patreon for next month's Coven meeting, which is coming up. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I haven't written it, but it will be fun. And I will see you in a few days.